Thomas, sorry, we decided to refer to everyone on first name basis. Mas jo është takim jo formal këgja, kështu që kred me emrin e parë. Yes, Tom, please.
Okay, thank you, Tessa. Good evening, everyone. Grateful for E4D for inviting me. This is my second time participating in the Tuesday Salon. So I'm happy to be here, and congratulations to E4D for guessing the day in which the enlargement package and the country reports will be actually issued, because as you know, the date has been moving around a bit these days in terms of the publication date, and I couldn't have attended unless the package was out. So this happened, as you probably all know, this morning. They were adopted, and we've had a series of events already today in relation to the presentation of the enlargement package and the country report. And there will be much more to come in the next few days and months. We will have, in particular, already there will be another debate organized by the Group of Legal and Political Studies on Thursday, where I am. We will do a presentation to civil society on the Kosovo report, and we would like to, the main purpose is to get feedback from you. We will be organizing this at some point soon, and there will be many more events in relation to the country report. But now I won't speak about the Kosovo country report. What I'll do is speak about this, let's say, this new approach which we've had for all the countries covered by the enlargement package, which is in many ways like a pilot test case for this new methodology, which was precisely aimed at trying to create a kind of new momentum. But first of all, to recall what the enlargement package, the basic principles, what we are putting together. The strategy document accompanies the country reports, and just a few points. For the first time, we are looking at a kind of overarching strategy covering the whole mandate of the current European Commission that runs until 2019. So this is a new approach covering several years. And what's important is that it's reconfirming what we call the fundamentals first approach. And this is related to the new methodology, in that the new methodology, at least this year, applies to areas which are related to the fundamentals. And just to recall what the fundamentals are, these are the rule of law, obviously, and later I can get into the discussion on how we approach the rule of law, chapters 23 and 24 and so on. But they also fundamental rights, economic development and competitiveness, functioning of democratic institutions, and public administration reform. Then we have the, let's say, what we always have which is a standard for our approach to the enlargement process, and in particular the region, which is the good neighborly relations and regional cooperation. So this is the kind of the framework which has been set over a multi-year period. And this year the novelty, and this is where the new methodology comes in. Whereas progress reports in previous years were basically measuring, they measured the progress which a country made in the course of a year. There were some elements, and if those of you who are familiar with previous editions of the progress reports, there were some elements, some conclusions of where a particular country stood, but there wasn't I would say, a harmonized approach in terms of determining this overall state. Now the real novelty is that what we measure in these critical areas, and just to mention them, they are public administration reform, judiciary, corruption, organized crime, freedom of expression, market economy, competitive pressure, public procurement, financial control and statistics. So these have been chosen because they all relate to the fundamentals. What happens in these areas is that, first of all, we measure the overall state of play of that country in relation to where it stands in terms of progress towards EU membership. So the benchmark is clearly EU membership. We measure in these areas, we measure where the country lies, we make an assessment of where the country lies in relation to what we believe should be achieved in terms of the standards we expect of a member state. So that's really the novelty. Obviously, and there are five, a scale of 5 criteria. Obviously, we continue to measure progress as well. It's important then to say maybe one is at a relatively early stage compared to what the benchmark should be, but is going at a rapid pace in terms of reform. That's important to note. Or one is at a relatively advanced level, but can even be backsliding. And there have been, and one of the 5 criteria in the progress scale is backsliding. And there are examples of this as well in the region, where actually there's regression, and that should be clearly noted. We also provide clearer guidance in terms of what we believe should be done in the short and long term. So you'll see when you see the progress report, I know it came out today, so maybe many of you haven't had the chance to look at it. When you look at it, you'll also see spelled out quite clearly what we expect in the short term and medium term, and this is, I think, going in the direction, not fully, but in the direction of what you were pointing to. And overall, why are we doing this? We're doing this to increase transparency, because if we have a similar approach across the board for all the countries, we believe that the basis on which we're doing it, it's the same methodology. This actually increases transparency. Sometimes we're accused of, in the progress reports, wrapping things in diplomatic language and it not being too clear what exactly we mean. So I think the first objective is to strive for more transparency and to make it clearer what we actually mean. And I hope at least in these areas, we have achieved this. Then another major objective of this approach is to get greater scrutiny of the reform processes in the enlargement countries. And this is why it's good to have this debate here tonight, because major players in terms of scrutinizing reforms should be civil society. So we hope this then becomes a tool for you to then use when you look at the different reforms in different areas. That's another important objective. You may or may not agree with our assessment. That's another issue. But this is we reached these conclusions and we stand by them. I'll wrap up.
No, you still have a bit of time.
Okay. And then, obviously, what we want to see is ultimately to create an incentive for reform. That's the ultimate objective, to have a tool which will then serve as an incentive for countries to then do better next time. So, as I said, we have this new methodology applying to certain areas, not all of them. Maybe just to illustrate, if I take the country report this year, you will see areas which are in grey, and these are the ones covered by the new methodology. So here you'll see an overall assessment in terms of the state of play, and then an evaluation of the progress made. So maybe I leave my remarks and I can come back and be a bit more, once I'm off the camera, be a little bit more, let's say, open in the discussion. I've been open, but I can be even more open.
Can you just ask briefly, what are the criteria? So you said there are 5?
For both, there are 5.
Yeah.
So there's for the, let's say, the overall state of play where a country stands. It's early stage, some level of preparedness, moderately prepared, good level of preparedness, and well advanced in its preparation. So that's where one stands towards the EU. And then in terms of progress, there's backsliding, no progress, some progress, good progress, and very good progress. Those are the different categories for each of the two. Just to talk about Kosovo, in most areas, Kosovo, we assess it as being at an early stage, but having made some progress.